My brother totaled my car on a Tuesday afternoon. I got the call at work. Hey sis, so I had a little accident in your car. Nothing major, but it's not drivable. My stomach dropped. What do you mean you had an accident in my car? You don't have keys to my car. Silence. Then, I took your spare set from Mom's house. I needed to run some errands and mine was in the shop. Anyway, the tow truck is taking it to a lot on 5th Street. We'll figure out the details later. He hung up before I could respond. I sat at my desk, staring at my phone, trying to process what had just happened. My brother had taken my car without permission, crashed it, and hung up like he'd just borrowed a pen. I left work early, drove my coworker's car to the impound lot, and saw what was left of my Honda Civic. The entire front end was crushed. The airbags had deployed. The frame was bent. The mechanic took one look and said, "Total loss. This thing's done." I called my brother. "Jake, the car is totaled, completely destroyed. What happened?" "Yeah, I ran a red light. Some guy T-boned me. But hey, I'm fine. Thanks for asking." His tone was casual, almost annoyed that I was upset. "You ran a red light in my car that you took without asking?" "I was going to ask," he said. "You weren't answering your phone. And honestly, I'm pretty shaken up here. I could have died. A little sympathy would be nice." I took a breath, counted to 10. "Jake, I need you to file an insurance claim. Your insurance needs to cover this." "About that?" he said. "I'm between insurance policies right now. I let mine lapse last month. So you're going to need to file through yours." I felt my face go hot. "You drove my car without insurance? What were you thinking?" "It was an emergency," he snapped. "Stop making this about you. I'm the one who got hurt." I filed the claim through my insurance. My premium went up 40%. The payout was $12,000, which barely covered what I still owed on the car loan. I had to buy a used car with the leftover money. Something reliable, but nothing like what I'd had. The whole process took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of borrowing cars, taking Ubers, rearranging my life around my brother's little accident. I thought that was the end of it. Then I got the invoice. It arrived in my mailbox on a Saturday morning. A typed document on official-looking letterhead. Invoice for services and damages. I opened it, confused. At the top, from Jake Morrison to Sarah Morrison. Below that, a list of charges. Medical consultation for accident-related injuries, $500. Lost wages due to recovery time, $800. Emotional distress and trauma, $700. Total, $2,000. Payment due within 30 days. I read it 3 times. My brother, who had stolen my car, crashed it, and cost me thousands in insurance premiums and deductibles, was billing me $2,000 for the inconvenience of totaling my vehicle. I called him immediately. "Jake, what the hell is this?" "Oh good, you got the invoice." "Yeah, I've been thinking about it, and this whole situation has really cost me. I had to miss work. I had to see a doctor for my neck. I've been stressed out. It's only fair you cover the damages." "You crashed my car," I said slowly. "That you took without permission." "And I could have died," he shot back. "I think my life is worth more than your car. Just pay the invoice, Sarah. Don't be difficult about this." I hung up, looked at the invoice again, saw that he'd included payment instructions, Venmo, Zelle, or check. Like this was a legitimate bill. Like he was a contractor I'd hired. I took a photo of the invoice and sent it to our family group chat with the caption, "Is everyone seeing this?" My mother responded first. "What's going on?" I typed back, "Jake crashed my car that he took without asking, and now he's billing me $2,000 for his trouble." My father's response came next. Let's all calm down. Jake's been through a traumatic experience. Sarah, maybe you could help him out with the medical bills. Family helps family. I stared at that message. Family helps family. I took a screenshot, added it to a folder I'd been keeping for years. A folder of every time I'd been expected to help while Jake got endless passes. Then I made a decision that would change everything. I wasn't paying the invoice, and I wasn't staying quiet about it anymore. But let me back up. Because this wasn't about a car or an invoice. This was about 29 years of being the responsible sibling while Jake crashed through life leaving damage in his wake, and everyone else was expected to clean it up. And if you've ever had a sibling who could do no wrong while you could do no right, who got bailed out while you got lectured about responsibility, then you already know this story isn't really about a car. Jake was 2 years younger than me and had been enabled since birth. The baby, the boy, the one my parents had desperately wanted after having a daughter first. When he broke things as a kid, it was, boys will be boys. When I broke something, it was, you should be more careful. When he failed classes in high school, my parents hired tutors and made excuses to teachers. When I got a B instead of an A, I got a lecture about not applying myself. College was worse. My parents paid for my state school education with the understanding that I'd work part-time to cover my expenses. I graduated with $15,000 in debt. Jake went to a private school that cost $50,000 a year. My parents paid every penny and gave him spending money. When I asked why the difference, Dad said, "You've always been more independent. Jake needs more support." Code for, we like him better, so we give him more. After college, I got a job in marketing, worked my way up, bought a car, rented an apartment, built a life. Jake bounced from job to job, got fired from 3 positions in 2 years, moved back home with my parents twice. Every time he crashed, they caught him, paid his rent when he was short, covered his car repairs, bailed him out of credit card debt. And every time I suggested maybe they should let him face consequences, I was being too harsh or not understanding. 2 years ago, Jake asked to borrow $5,000, said he had a business opportunity, a sure thing, would pay me back in 6 months. I lent it to him because my mother called and said, "He really needs this. Please help your brother." 6 months came and went. A year came and went. When I asked about the money, Jake said, "I thought that was a gift. You make way more than me. What's $5,000 to you?" I never got it back. Last Christmas, Jake crashed his own car. Rear-ended someone because he was texting. His insurance covered the other person's car, but his deductible was $1,000. My parents paid it without question. 2 months later, I needed to replace my tires, all for $800. I mentioned it at dinner, and my father said, "That's part of car ownership. Budget better." The double standard wasn't even subtle anymore. So when Jake crashed my car, the car I'd saved for and bought myself, and then had the audacity to bill me for his trouble, something inside me snapped. I wasn't the bigger person anymore. I wasn't being understanding. I was done. I didn't pay the invoice. After 30 days, Jake sent a follow-up email. "Past due notice. Please remit payment immediately to avoid collection proceedings." Collection proceedings. Like he was a business and I was a deadbeat customer. I replied with one line, "You totaled my car. You're lucky I'm not suing you. The invoice is a joke." His response came in minutes. "If you don't pay within 48 hours, I'm taking legal action. I have a lawyer." I laughed out loud. Jake barely had rent money. He didn't have a lawyer. But I called his bluff. "Take me to court. I'll see you there." 48 hours passed. Then I got a call from the police. "Ms. Morrison, this is Officer Chen. Your brother Jake Morrison filed a report claiming you're harassing him and refusing to pay debts owed. He's requesting a restraining order. We need you to come down to the station to give a statement. I sat in my apartment, phone in hand, absolutely stunned. He'd called the police. He'd actually called the police because I wouldn't pay his fake invoice for crashing my car. The audacity was breathtaking. "I'll be there in an hour," I said. Then I did something I should have done years ago. I started documenting everything. I printed the insurance claim showing Jake as the at-fault driver. I printed the invoice he'd sent me. I printed the text messages where he admitted taking my car without permission. I printed my bank statement showing the $5,000 I'd lent him that he never repaid. I printed emails from my parents asking me to help Jake out in various situations over the years. I put it all in a folder. 30 pages of evidence showing a pattern of entitlement and enabling. At the police station, Officer Chen reviewed the report Jake had filed. "So, your brother is saying you owe him money and you're refusing to pay and harassing him about it." "My brother totaled my car that he took without my permission," I said calmly. "Then he sent me an invoice billing me for his trouble. I didn't pay because the invoice is absurd. That's not harassment. That's refusing to be extorted." I handed her the folder. "This is documentation of the car accident, the insurance claim, and the invoice he sent me. It also includes evidence of a pattern of behavior where my brother creates financial damage and expects others to cover it." Officer Chen read through everything. Her expression shifted from neutral to disbelieving. "He billed you for crashing your car?" "Yes, ma'am." "And he took your car without permission?" "Correct." She set down the folder. "Ms. Morrison, there's no crime here. He can't get a restraining order because you won't pay a bill that he has no legal right to collect. If anything, you could press charges for unauthorized use of your vehicle." "I'd like to do that," I heard myself say. The words came out before I'd fully decided, but once they were out, I didn't take them back. Officer Chen nodded. "I'll have you fill out a statement. We'll file it officially. Your brother will be notified and he'll need to respond." "What happens then?" "If the case proceeds, it could result in charges. Unauthorized use of a vehicle is a misdemeanor, but honestly, most families don't press charges. Usually just the threat is enough to make people back off." I filled out the statement, signed it, left the police station feeling something I hadn't felt in years. Powerful, not angry, not vindictive. Just done being the family doormat. Jake called that evening. "The cops said you filed a report against me? Are you insane? I'm your brother." "And you stole my car, crashed it, and tried to bill me for it," I said. "Then you called the police on me when I didn't pay your fake invoice. So yes, I filed a report. Actions have consequences, Jake." "Mom and Dad are going to lose it," he threatened. "Let them." I hung up. 20 minutes later, my mother called. "Sarah, what are you doing? You can't press charges against your own brother. This is family." "He totaled my car and billed me for it, Mom. What was I supposed to do?" "Pay the money," she said, as if it were obvious. "It's $2,000. You make good money." "Jake's struggling. Just help him out and drop this." "No," I said. The word felt good, final. "I'm not paying it. I'm not dropping the charges. Jake needs to face consequences for once in his life, and if you and Dad won't make him, then the legal system will." "You're tearing this family apart," she said, her voice breaking. "No, Mom. I'm setting a boundary. There's a difference." The family group chat exploded. My father. "This is going too far. We raised you better than this." Jake. "Can't believe my own sister is trying to give me a criminal record." My aunt chimed in. "Family forgives. What's wrong with you?" I left the group chat, blocked their numbers for a week. I needed space to think without the constant barrage of guilt. During that week, something interesting happened. The story leaked. Someone, I still don't know who, posted about it on a local Facebook group. Woman's brother crashes her car without permission, then bills her for his trouble. Now she's pressing charges and the family is calling her the bad guy. The post went viral locally. Hundreds of comments, mostly supportive. Good for her. About time someone held entitled people accountable. The family sounds toxic. A local news station reached out. Would I be willing to tell my story on camera? I said yes. Not to embarrass Jake or my parents, but because I was tired of being told I was wrong for refusing to enable bad behavior. The interview aired on a slow news Thursday. 5 minutes of me calmly explaining what happened. The crashed car, the invoice, the police report. I brought receipts. Showed the actual invoice on camera. Showed the police report. Made it undeniable. The story got picked up by larger outlets. Woman presses charges after brother bills her for crashing her own car. It spread across social media. Reddit threads, Twitter discussions. Most people were on my side. Some said I was heartless, but the overwhelming response was, "She's right. Family doesn't mean accepting abuse." My phone was still blocked to family, but friends started forwarding me things. My mother had posted on Facebook, praying for my daughter who has lost her way. Jake posted, "Family means nothing anymore, I guess." My father stayed silent, which somehow felt worse, but I also got messages from cousins I hadn't heard from in years. "I always knew they treated you differently. Good for you for finally standing up." The case was scheduled for a hearing. Jake had two choices: attend and face potential charges, or settle out of court. My lawyer, yes, I'd hired one, sent a settlement offer. Jake withdraws the invoice, issues a written apology, pays my insurance deductible, and I drop the charges. Reasonable, fair, more than generous considering he'd stolen and totaled my car. He rejected it, said he'd see me in court. Fine, court it was. The hearing was set for a Tuesday morning. Small claims courtroom. Just a formality really, since it was a misdemeanor case. I showed up with my lawyer and my folder of evidence. Jake showed up with my parents. No lawyer. The judge reviewed the case. Looked at Jake. "You took your sister's vehicle without permission?" "She's my sister. I didn't think I needed permission." "Did you have a key?" "I took her spare set." "From where?" "My mother's house." The judge looked at my mother. "Did you give him permission to take his sister's keys?" Mom stammered. "Well, I didn't think he needed—" "That's a no," the judge said. He looked back at Jake. "You took a vehicle without the owner's permission, drove it without insurance, caused an accident that totaled the vehicle, and then attempted to bill the owner for your damages?" "She's making it sound worse than it is," Jake protested. The judge held up the invoice. "Did you send this?" "Yes, but did she owe you this money?" "She should have—" "That's a no," the judge interrupted. He set down the papers. "Mr. Morrison, you committed unauthorized use of a vehicle. That's a misdemeanor. Given that the vehicle owner is your sister and this appears to be your first offense, I'm inclined to be lenient. But you need to understand that taking someone's property without permission is theft. It doesn't matter if you're family." He ordered Jake to pay restitution. My insurance deductible of $1,000, plus the difference between what my insurance paid out and what I'd owed on the car, another $1,800. Total, $2,800. Payment plan approved, plus a year of probation. If Jake stayed out of trouble, the charge would be reduced. If he violated probation, he'd face jail time. The invoice Jake had sent me? The judge literally laughed. This is dismissed as frivolous. You can't bill someone for damages you caused. I walked out of that courtroom with my head high. Jake walked out furious, my parents trailing behind him looking shell-shocked. My mother caught up to me in the parking lot. "Are you happy now? You've humiliated your brother. You've humiliated us. Was it worth it?" I looked at her, really looked at her. Saw the woman who'd spent 29 years making excuses for Jake while holding me to impossible standards. "Yes," I said, "it was worth it. Because maybe now he'll learn that actions have consequences, and maybe you'll learn that enabling him doesn't help him, it just makes him worse." "You're not welcome at family events anymore," she said. "Your father and I have discussed it. Until you apologize to Jake, you're not part of this family." I felt a sharp pain in my chest. Then it passed. And I realized I was being given permission to leave, to walk away from the constant disappointment and double standards and guilt trips. "Okay," I said. "I accept that." The surprise on her face was almost worth it. She'd expected me to cave, to beg, to apologize and make nice like I always had. Instead, I got in my car, my new used car that I'd bought with insurance money from the car Jake destroyed, and drove away. That was 8 months ago. I haven't spoken to my parents or Jake since. I've had some therapy, worked through a lot of guilt and grief, realized that I'd been conditioned my entire life to believe that keeping the peace was my responsibility, that accommodating Jake's behavior was what good sisters did, that setting boundaries made me the bad guy. None of that was true. I didn't tear the family apart. The family was already broken. I just stopped pretending it wasn't. Jake made one payment on the restitution, then stopped. Violated his probation. Got hauled back to court. I don't know what happened after that because I wasn't there. My lawyer handled it. Last I heard, his probation was extended and he has a wage garnishment now. The money comes out of his paychecks automatically. He can't skip it. Some extended family still talk to me. My aunt apologized for her group chat comment, said she didn't understand the full situation. My cousin told me she'd dealt with something similar with her brother, and my story gave her courage to set boundaries too. Small victories. I've built a new life, made new traditions, spent Thanksgiving with friends, had Christmas with my boyfriend's family who thinks I'm hilarious and smart and doesn't compare me to anyone. The invoice is framed on my wall now. My boyfriend thought I was joking when I said I wanted to keep it. I wasn't. It's a reminder. A reminder that some people will take everything and then bill you for the privilege. A reminder that family is supposed to lift you up, not tear you down. A reminder that I'm worth more than being someone's doormat. Every time I see it, I remember the moment I said no, the moment I stopped enabling, the moment I chose myself. If you've ever been the responsible sibling cleaning up after the golden child, if you've ever been expected to forgive and forget while they face no consequences, if you've ever been told you're tearing the family apart just by setting a boundary, this story is for you. You're not the bad guy. You're not too harsh. You're not wrong. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people face the consequences of their own actions, even if those people are family, especially if those people are family. Tell me in the comments, have you ever had to choose between keeping the peace and standing up for yourself? Have you ever been the scapegoat in a family that protected the golden child? I read every story, and if you want more stories about people who stopped being doormats and started demanding respect, subscribe. There's always another boundary being set, another person choosing themselves over family dysfunction.